Yeah, most of you have met me, just at the demo at the back. My name's Euan. I I'm a PhD student at the Centre for Quantum Photonics, and I'm also part of the Quantum Engineering Doctoral Training Centre. I've been asked to give a brief overview of all the quantum kind of stuff going on in Bristol and how QTech probably fits into that and the kind of people that you might get to interact with. I'm also going to give a kind of brief overview of the CDT, the training centre we have, just so you get experience with what that thing is as well. So Ket Labs is kind of the general name we're giving to or the branding we're giving to most of the quantum stuff happening in Bristol. That's broken up into 5 main categories. So some of these you will know. Hopefully you know this one. So this is QTech. This is where you fit in. These numbers, by the way, these are approximate numbers for the kind of funding we get and the number of people involved with those projects. Just to give you an idea of the scale. So we have CQP, so this is the main research arm of Ket Labs. This is where most of the silicon photonics and the silica photonics research is happening, and that's based here in this building and over in physics. We have the Quantum Engineering Cdt, so this is, for those that haven't come across it before, this is CDTs, or Doctoral Training Centres. The way that most of EPSRC actually in its entirety is funding PhD students now. And I'm going to go through what a CDT is and what happens there. So CQP actually gets a lot of funding from the quantum hubs that are based across the UK. We're actually involved in 2 hubs, and that is the Quantum Communications Hub and Quantic, which is the Quantum Imaging Hub. And so that research money and the materials and the people from that money actually feed into CQP's research base. And then QPIC finally is a new centre we have. It's a fabrication centre for the integrated devices that you saw earlier. It's new this year, so it should be coming into operation kind of September, October, I believe. And the idea is that we have lots of research work, and we have lots of knowledge in the area of fabricating these devices and designing them. And the idea is that if you come to us and you want to design a chip, fabricate a chip, and build it, we'll help you do that. We have the contacts, we have the knowledge, and you can get your device for you to do your quantum experiment with. And yeah, the idea, I mean, the thing I wanted to emphasize with this is that we have everything from on the research development scale. So we have fundamental research going from CQP and the Quantum Engineering Cdt right up to technology prototypes. So both, hopefully, spin-outs and things like this, and then also building and fabricating these things. And that also works for skills, the kind of skills training we have. So we go right from PhD, so CQP still has PhD students, and also the quantum engineering. And that goes all the way up to business and entrepreneurship, which is hopefully where you guys fit in. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the Quantum Engineering Doctoral Training Centre. This was a new centre funded about 2.5 years ago. We've had 2 cohorts so far. So the general structure of a Centre for Doctoral Training is it's a 4-year course designed to train PhD students. The first year is an intense, and I can validate this, an intense training year where you get trained in lots of skills in one general area of research. So ours is quantum engineering. You then complete that year and pick a PhD supervisor and a PhD project, much like you would traditional PhDs, and then you go on and do 3 years worth of kind of traditional PhD work with a few extra bits from the CDT. So that's a general structure. That first year, you get trained in everything. So it has traditional style courses, so lectures and courses and coursework, right through to projects. So you get an opportunity to interact with lots of different people within CQP and with the wider area of Bristol. And then you get trained in things that perhaps you wouldn't get in a traditional PhD, things like presentation skills, which hopefully I'm demonstrating, things like writing skills and lots of other things, IP and business skills as well. So we've got really the whole range of things. So here we are. As I said, there's been 2 cohorts, so there's two years of 10 people. This is the second year who have just come, and we're now awaiting a third year actually in September. And this is my year, so this is when part of the first year we actually go to D-Wave, and we get to see kind of what an actual quantum business looks like, which was really interesting. So we got to visit Vancouver, and these are the academics involved. So we've got Mark Thompson, who's also involved with QTech, Pete Turner, who's not here today, unfortunately, Chris and Jorge and Dylan, and then Andrew and Lynn on the support staff. And this will be 30 students strong by if you do get involved with QTech. So I said the first year was intense. This was actually just a summary of the courses and the talks that we underwent during that first year. 4 minutes, okay. So yeah, it's a lot. But the thing I wanted to emphasize is that actually we are very much focused in building technology. This is an engineering-focused course. So we do have fundamental things, because you need to know the fundamentals, but we also go through all the way to, yeah, like I said, patents and IP, systems engineering, quantum systems engineering. This is really focused on taking this technology out of the lab. And so I think it's fair to say that as part of QTech, there's access to all this knowledge. There's people visiting all the time that produce these courses and produce these presentations. So it's really, there's lots going on and there's lots of skills happening around, especially in SQI. So yeah, training across the entire research spectrum. So in the first year, you really do theory. You go all the way through to building experiments, ordering, planning experiments. This is us putting the lab together. Through to programming, testing and doing the experiments, so actually performing the experiments, right through to analyzing, and then also the social aspects as well. So this is the entire spectrum of research that's constantly being trained. So there's all these skills being kind of pushed onto us and hopefully sticking throughout the entire year. So that's great. Again, like I say, there's people obviously have a lot of input into the CDT. This is a list of, just in my first year, this is who came to speak to us. So just to point out a few, Brian Clegg is a published science author. He's published about 10 books on science writing, on public science, and he came in to give a talk about science engagement and science writing and how to communicate science well. And that goes right, so we have those kind of transferable skills, right up to Sandy Popescu, one of the world-leading theorists in quantum foundations, who's based in Bristol. He came to give a talk on the foundations of quantum mechanics. So we have this whole spectrum of people constantly coming in and out of Bristol, interacting with the CDT and hopefully interacting with the wider Bristol community as well. So there's lots going on. And the final thing I want to mention is it's really a team environment in the CDT. You get this group of 10. And it's really designed to get the most out of being trained as a PhD as a group of 10 people. The kind of epitome of that is the Grand Challenge project that we were tasked with. So this is, we get to pick a topic that we would like to research, perhaps in a broader scale to how you would do traditional research. So maybe something a bit more blue skies. We chose quantum machine learning, and for the whole year, as a group of 10, you get to research that project, and then you produce some kind of material at the end. This is actually on the archive, so you can take a look at it and read it if you would like to. And it's really just a summary of the kind of knowledge that we gained over that year. And the final thing I want to mention, which kind of gets missed a lot in these kind of presentations, is it's a lot of fun. This goes for the whole of Bristol activity, actually. So this is CQP and the CDT as well. There's a whole bunch of us. There's a lot of us. But they're really great people. There's lots of exciting research going on. There's lots of people to interact with, lots of skills, really bright, fantastic facilities as well. So yeah, it's a really great place to be. And it's worth getting involved with if you want to come and join. So thanks for listening. I'll take any questions now. I hope that was on time. No, so good. There we go. I can stop talking.
Where did
Yes.
the drums come from?
Well, okay. So yeah, we went. So part of the CDT first week is a social week to try and blend us as a cohort. So we go away to. Where is it?
Secret location.
A secret location. We're yeah.
Tell people.
And it's Taiko Drumming, so it's one of the activities that we do on the day. And then this is actually at the end of the year. We go canoeing in Wales, which is cool. But yeah, that's what it is. It's good fun, Taiko Drumming.